A budget is a critical component of any financial plan. If you're serious about attaining your financial objectives, creating and sticking to a budget might help you get there. If you don't have a budget, you may be wondering where all your money went at the end of the month. It's even feasible that you're running a deficit and using credit cards to make up the difference. When you utilize a budget to create clear limitations for your spending, it may help you live within your means. You most likely have financial objectives that you want to achieve. However, without a budget, it might be difficult to identify where to focus your efforts and achieve substantial progress. A budget can assist you in determining how much money to set aside for each goal in order to hold yourself accountable. Making a budget is the first step in attaining financial control. If you're trying to get out of debt, decide how you'll organize your spending to prioritize debt payments. For example, if you see that you spend a lot of money on entertainment, you may make a budget that restricts your spending to a certain level. The money saved might then be applied to debt repayment. A personal budget should also include long-term savings goals. Consider putting money aside each month to save for retirement, a trip, or a down payment on a property. In the short term, make sure you have enough money set aside for an emergency fund. A budget can help you gain greater control over how you spend your money, allowing you to spend less and save more. To build a budget, you must first determine your net monthly income, often known as after-tax income. If you know you'll earn at least a specific amount each month, utilize that as a baseline and make changes each month for revenue that exceeds the baseline. Examine your bank and credit card statements from the last 3 to 6 months to get a sense of how much you spend each month. Then, divide those costs into categories. Create as many or as few categories as you wish, depending on how detailed you want to be. Begin with the essentials, such as housing bills, whether they are rent or a mortgage payment, and transportation expenses such as auto payments, gas, or public transit. How much do your utility bills cost? How much do you spend on food and groceries each month? Do you spend the bulk of your money on groceries or restaurants? If you pay insurance on a biannual or annual basis, divide the sum by the number of months. Perhaps you have internet, cable, or phone bills. How important is your service level? Once these expenditures have been determined, subtract the sum from your total after-tax revenue. It's time to set some achievable goals. Here you'll concentrate on why you want to make a budget. If you want to get rid of credit card debt, for example, make a monthly target for how much you will pay toward the bill. It is also a good idea to have some form of emergency reserves to avoid utilizing credit cards if, for example, your car breaks down. You are more likely to stay to your budget if you make your goals attainable in order to experience positive outcomes. Set objectives that will challenge you, but bear in mind that developing the behaviors you desire might take time. Also, even if you have prior data to back up your estimates, it's possible to underestimate some expenditures, so make modifications as you become acclimated to the procedure. Focus on your goals, such as paying off debt and saving a little money, now that you know your monthly costs. You must now keep track of everything. It takes time to keep track of your expenditures, but if you don't, your budget will be useless. It's probable that nothing will change if you merely establish objectives for how you want to spend your money, but don't track how you spend it. Keeping track of your spending might be difficult, especially if you make many transactions every day. Uncertain bank statements, several credit card accounts, and cash purchases may make the procedure even more difficult. It is easy to design a basic budget spreadsheet. You may then categorize each purchase to see how much money you've spent in relation to your monthly budget. To avoid spending too much time tracking your expenditure, set aside time once a week to go over all of your purchases for that period. If you do it more regularly than that, it can become overwhelming. It'll be easy to lose track if you don't do it on a regular basis. Tracking your spending can help you test your assumptions and goals, as well as provide you ideas on how to adjust them in the following months, while also adding accountability. You may notice some improvements in your credit score as you attempt to build and manage a budget. Budgeting can help you improve your credit score by allowing you to pay down existing debt faster and avoid carrying large credit card balances. It might also help you make sure you always have enough money to pay your bills on time. It may also enable you to save more money. There's no way to say for sure how budgeting will help you boost your credit, because every financial situation is different. However, when your overall financial status improves, a better credit history is not uncommon. Keep your objectives in sight at all times. Making a budget might be a big step forward for you. Budgeting for the sake of budgeting, on the other hand, is not enjoyable. Remind yourself of the reasons why you're doing it, while you work on your budget each month. Also, keep track of your progress to ensure you're on pace to achieve your objectives. It may appear like you are not making progress at first, and learning how to remain on budget may take several months. However, you will see advancement with time. And as time goes on, you'll figure out how to tweak your budget to get the most bang for your buck.